Patrick Brown is resigning as leader of the Ontario Conservative Party. He's accused of sexual misconduct, and as Camille Karamali reports, the allegations come months before the provincial election.
Ontario PC leader Patrick Brown looked like he was on the verge of tears during this press conference. He denied all allegations against him, saying that the accusations are all false. Now, this comes after two women came forward to CTV News with allegations of sexual misconduct against Brown during his time as a federal MP. One says that she was in high school at the time, said Brown asked her to perform oral sex on him. The other alleging that Brown sexually assaulted her during an event she helped organize. And today, Patrick Brown reacted to those allegations. Have a listen.
A couple hours ago, I learned about troubling allegations about my conduct and character, and I'm here tonight to address them. First, I want to say these allegations are false, categorically untrue, every one of them. I will defend myself as hard as I can with all means at my disposal. It's never okay for anyone to feel they've been a victim of sexual harassment or feel threatened in any way. Let me make this clear. A safe and respectful society is what we expect and deserve. And no one appreciates that more than I do. I've got two younger sisters who are my best friends. I've grown up in a family that has taught me good values. My values and beliefs are those that we need to move forward to eradicate sexual violence and harassment across the province, across the country, everywhere. I know the court of public opinion moves fast. I've instructed my attorneys to ensure that these allegations are addressed where they should be in the court of law. In short, I reject these accusations in the strongest possible terms. It's not my values, it's not how I raised, it's not who I am.
Now, it's worth noting Brown never specified what these allegations were, just that he's denying them in this brief press conference. And what ensued afterwards was a chase as Brown left very quickly down to his vehicle, leaving the Queen's Park building, and as media chased after him, trying to press him on more details and more reaction, but he stayed quiet and, as I mentioned, got into a vehicle and drove off. Now, what happened after that was 4 PC staffers tweeted out their resignations in light of these allegations. That includes the party's press secretary, and the Ontario NDP have also sent out a response. Andrea Horvath is calling for Brown's resignation, saying that she's disgusted and disturbed by the allegations. Now, Canada's Conservative Party leader Andrew Scheer, he's also responded, saying that the allegations are extremely serious and should be investigated fully. Camille Karamali, Global News.
And in a tweet, Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne says it's a difficult and brave thing to do to come forward in the way these young women have done. My government and I have been clear on the issue of sexual harassment and assault. In fact, our policy and our ad were called It's Never Okay. Patrick Brown is resigning as leader of the Ontario Conservative Party. Allegations of sexual misconduct come months before the provincial election. Our Mark Harkesol is outside Queen's Park this morning, live with more on this story. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Marianne. These allegations come from 2 separate women. They have not yet been proven in court. They are allegations at this time, but they are ones that have caused a lot of controversy very late in the day yesterday. Allegations that are about 10 years old now. They stem from a time when Brown was an MP in Barrie with the federal Conservative Party. One accuser says that Brown propositioned her during a tour of his home when she was just in high school. The other claims that Brown sexually assaulted her at a party by delivering unwanted kisses while on a bed. But though she does say that he did stop when she told him to, and that he then drove her home after that. Now, last night, Patrick Brown held an emergency news conference at 9:45 p.m. before the story of these allegations was released at 10 o'clock. He didn't take questions and told reporters afterward that he would be at work today, but he was on the brink of tears in that news conference. You could tell, very emotional. Let's hear a bit of what he had to say.
First, I want to say these allegations are false, categorically untrue, every one of them. I will defend myself as hard as I can with all means at my disposal.
Meanwhile, Premier Kathleen Wynne issued a brief statement last night expressing her support for those accusers. She says, quote, "It is difficult and brave to do, is a difficult and brave thing to do to come forward in the way these young women have tonight. My government and I have been clear on the issue of sexual harassment and assault. In fact, our policy and our ad were called It's Never Okay." Now, Patrick Brown, after that news conference at 9:45, did initially stay on as PC leader, but later on, a little before 1:30 in the morning, he issued a statement declaring that he was stepping down as leader of the PC party. However, he would be staying on as an MPP with the party while he fought to clear his name. He says he made it political again, basically saying that defeating Kathleen Wynne was about more than one individual. Shortly after that news conference he held, several members of his campaign team did step down, including the press secretary for the PC party, who said that Brown's insistence on remaining leader for that brief period of time went against his advice, so he had to step down. Now, we will see what fallout occurs later on at Queen's Park today. We don't know at this point who will step in as the new leader of the PC party or how that decision will be made. I'm sure we'll get more details on that later on today, and we will stick on this story with you throughout the morning. Marianne, back to you.
All right, that's Mark Harkisol live outside of Queen's Park this morning. Thanks. And good morning, everyone. I'm Marianne Domain. Carolyn is away. Patrick Brown is resigning as leader of the Ontario Conservative Party. Allegations of sexual misconduct come months before the provincial election. Our Mark Harkisol is live outside of Queen's Park this morning with more on this story. Hi, Mark.
Good morning, Marianne. These allegations are from more than 10 years ago from two different women who knew Patrick Brown during his time as an MP for the federal Conservatives in Barrie. The first allegation comes from a woman who was in high school at the time. She says during a tour of Patrick Brown's home, he propositioned her. The second allegation comes from a woman who worked with him as a teenager while he was an MP in Barrie, who says that at a party, he came on to her, started giving her unwanted kisses on a bed. She says that when she asked him to stop and drive her home, he did so. Now, these allegations came to light in a news report that was aired at 10 o'clock last night. Patrick Brown calling an emergency press conference last night at 9:45 to try and beat the headlines, beat that news story. In that news conference, Patrick Brown claimed that the allegations against him were categorically untrue. He denied them, said he was going to get his legal team involved, and that he was going to fight to clear his name. He also said that he would be back at work today. Let's hear a little bit of what he had to say about those allegations at last night's news conference.
It's never okay for anyone to feel they've been a victim of sexual harassment or feel threatened in any way. Let me make this clear. A safe and respectful society is what we expect and deserve. And no one appreciates that more than I do.
Premier Kathleen Wynne issued a brief statement last night after that news conference to express her support for the accusers. She says, quote, "It's a difficult and brave thing to do to come forward in the way these young women have done tonight. My government and I have been clear on the issue of sexual harassment and assault. In fact, our policy and our ad were called It's Never Okay." Words that you heard Patrick Brown mention in his news conference there. NDP leader Andrea Horvath also issuing a brief statement last night where she said that she was disgusted and disturbed by the allegations against Patrick Brown, calling on him to step down. And about 4 hours after that news conference, he did just that. Didn't mention anything about stepping down as leader in the news conference, but a little before 1:30 in the morning, he issued a statement saying that upon discussing it with the party and caucus, he would be stepping down as leader of the PC party, but that he would be staying on as an MPP while he fought to clear his name. He said that the fight to defeat Kathleen Wynne in the election, which is not far away, less than 5 months in June now, he said that that fight is bigger than just one individual. We don't know at this point who will be stepping in as the new leader of the PC party, or really what the process will be to determine who will step up as the new leader. That is all something that will unfold in the days to come. Again, important to note that these allegations against Patrick Brown have not been proven in court, and he says he does plan to fight them legally using whatever means necessary to do so. We will have more on this throughout the morning and as this develops throughout the day on Global News. Marianne, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Mark, live outside of Queen's Park this morning.
I reject these accusations in the strongest possible terms. It's not my values. It's not how I raised. It's not who I am.
Well, just months before Ontario's provincial election, the province's PC leader has announced he's stepping down. Patrick Brown denying allegations of sexual misconduct during an emotional late-night news conference. Good morning on this Thursday. I'm Jeff MacArthur, and for more on the story, we're joined now by Ontario NDP leader Andrea Horwath. Andrea, good morning, and thanks for the time. And just first off, let me get your reaction to this news.
Well, I mean, I think first and foremost, it takes a lot of courage and bravery, and my thoughts are with the young women who came forward yesterday with their story. It's a pretty graphic story. It's one that's it's one that's quite disturbing, and these allegations are extremely serious. So, as we've seen a lot in these recent months, women are saying enough is enough, and they're not going to stay silent when they have had these kinds of activities perpetrated against them, especially where it's people who are high-profile folks that think that they can get away with these things. Now, again, these are allegations, and I think we have to acknowledge that. But at the same time, the descriptions were pretty detailed, and it was pretty disturbing what we heard yesterday.
All right, these allegations are serious. So, is it enough that Patrick Down has stepped down as party leader? Should he give up his seat as well? Should he be standing as an MPP in your estimation?
Well, I mean, that's something that their caucus, the Conservative caucus, and their party's going to have to deal with. I mean, I can tell you if he was in the NDP caucus, he wouldn't be an MPP either. I can just leave it at that. They're going to have to make their decision, but I would not allow someone to continue if it was in my caucus.
All right, Ontario NDP leader Andrea Horwath for us this morning. Andrea, I appreciate the time. Thanks so much. And sticking with provincial politics, the leader of Nova Scotia's Progressive Conservative Party has resigned after allegations of sexual harassment. Jamie Bailey made the announcement on Twitter yesterday, citing personal reasons. Hours later, the party explained it carried out an independent investigation that found Bailey acted inappropriately and asked him to step down.